Good morning, everyone. It is 7:22 a.m. on the 7th of December 2022. I was woken up by boss at 5:30 barking at something. I needed to get up and let him out, and I saw a cat. So I'm not totally sure how he knew there was the cat out there from my room, but it's the only thing I can think of. I have to admit, I contemplated staying up due to the message that I've written to myself in my toilet, which is like, if you're up after 5, just stay up. I knew my alarm was set for 6:15 because I asked Victor to call me at 6:30. And I spent roughly a few minutes deciding if I was going to stay up or go back and snooze. But boss came in and went straight back to bed, so I kind of like followed his lead. But I did get up when Victor called, which was great, and thank you for doing that. I'd written myself a note last night and left it on my kitchen table. Basically telling me what I need to do. And the first thing for this morning was fried eggs on toast, which I did, and I'm on my second coffee, so it needs to be heated, but they always do. I've been reading No Sleep stories on Reddit. It's been ages since I've done that, but I thought I'd make a video now because I'm kind of in that limbo stage at the moment. So taking Ritalin, I have found is a really sort of delicate, fine, like finely timed sort of thing, in the sense of once the medication kicks in, not only do I lose my appetite, but it actually becomes very difficult to eat. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. Some of you out there may know what I'm talking about, but I do struggle with food throughout the day, which is why I buy muesli bars and protein bars and things like that. But it did hit me yesterday that I am fucking around with uni because of the group chat intimidating me. I know I've got 9 questions for this quiz. It's now Tuesday? I think it's Wednesday today. I had told myself that the quiz would be done by last night. I went back to do the practice test, so I obviously confused myself. So the very first time I did the practice quiz, I got 6 out of 9 correct, and the last 3 I tried to figure them out, did the best that I could, but got them wrong. And there's a solutions video that I've mentioned before, which takes us through the practice quiz and shows us exactly how much, like how to work out the answers. Anyway, I really find it trippy having my phone on this angle because I'm looking there, whereas I'm pretty sure I'm meant to be looking at the camera there. Anyway, so once I'd gone through the first 6 questions with the solutions video, I was happy because I did get them right, and I wanted to just make sure I'd worked them out correctly. Then, before I went through the last 3 questions, I realized what I had done wrong, and so I worked them out. And at this point, which would have been Monday, I truly thought I had made it to the end of the solutions video and that I knew what I was doing for the last 3 videos. I'm sure I've even said that on a video. Yesterday, however, after reviewing my notes, I went back and did the practice quiz again, got to the last question and was like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. All I knew was that I had to do the math backwards. That much I got right because I even wrote it in my notes saying this needs to be done backwards. It's just that it's been like 20 years since I did high school maths, and even though I can calculate numbers roughly in my head pretty well, math formulas backwards, a little harder. Anyway, I spent so fucking long trying to figure it out. And in the end, I was like, I don't understand how I'm so fucking confused when I just did this yesterday. So I went back into the solutions video and went all the way to the end because it was the last question. And I had to watch it over and over and over again. And I'm like, clearly, it would appear that I did not make it to the end of the solutions video because I really feel like at least some of that information would have stuck. And yet by the time I had to go through it again yesterday, yeah, it was like learning it brand new. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. And that's the gist of it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and keep refreshing myself because I'm feeling fairly confident for sure. But as I've said, I'm a part of the group chats. Now, there are mature students. Absolutely, there is no age that you shouldn't study if you want to study. That's my theory. I didn't even know I was going to go to uni until I was 31. Before then, I didn't think I'd make it at all. So being at uni is an achievement. I've had breakfast, as I've said, and kind of feels like something stuck in my teeth. But I really needed to make this now to wake me up because, like I said, I was reading Reddit stories, which for anyone who don't know what that is basically made up horror stories on Reddit, written in the way that the person writing it is the main character. So with this sort of page, you if you want to like comment, you're commenting not to the author but to the character. Kind of like how I freaking love Frankenfurter more than anything in the world when it comes to a character, but it's different to the fact that I have so much regard for Tim Curry as a person, but Tim Curry's not the one I love. He is who created, he is Frankenfurter, and Frankenfurter, by the way, from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, is basically what's kept me sane my entire life. As odd as that may sound, if you've seen that movie, but I've been watching the movie for like 28 years. So anyway, so I'm reading and what happened was this morning, so I got up at 6:30 when Victor called. I made my fried eggs on toast. I actually, just more for myself than anything, took a photo of my fried eggs on toast next to my light clock so you can see the time, and it says 6:33 with my breakfast ready. But right, with the Ritalin, it's still very much like a day-to-day thing depending on how I'm going. And that's, to clarify, not me abusing my medication. That's my literal instructions from my psychiatrist, which is, this is how much you can take, but you need to figure out the best way to take it. Yeah. So like, for example, yesterday I took 2 a.m. as soon as I got up, because I got up at 9 because the day before I'd done heaps. But I needed to split my afternoon medication. For example, instead of taking 2 at lunch, I took 1 at 11:30 because I was starting to really drop. And I think this is when Victor came and dropped me off groceries. Can't thank you enough, by the way. Like, sometimes leaving my house, I really don't enjoy it. That might not make sense considering how extroverted I am as a person, but I'm also an empath, which means I feel what everyone else is feeling, and being around many, many people at once just causes my entire mind, body, and soul to just go, nope, don't want to be here, and get the fuck out. So, Victor picked me up a few things that I really needed, and I'd been trying to get to for a number of days, and thankfully he was on his way to come and walk Boss anyway, because we've been walking together, and it's very apparent that, as I've said to Victor, I'm like, my dog is nearly 20, he'll be 10 in January. He's my absolute best friend. He's had fucking surgery for cancer 3 times. I've had to give him the, round of, not me, the vet and the nurses, had to go through the round of fucking arthritis injections. And I walk him in a very leisurely, let him do what he wants kind of way. And I don't think Victor's used to it, like, at all. And in fairness, he was like, how you walk him is a lot easier if it's just one person, because when you're walking with 2 people and a dog, and especially like with my dog, who is allowed and used to doing whatever the hell it is that he wants, we kind of bang into each other. And I just literally can't walk Boss to the extent that he needs. Yeah, like, I've tried everything. But Victor loves Boss. Hallelujah for the both of us. And we've been talking about setting up like an exercise program. And yesterday I was like, I wonder if we could include you walking my dog for me first, and then we can do exercises, like, because my exercise routine will start off so slowly and minimally, because every time I try to get fit, I go jumping in head first and fuck myself over a billion times. So I'm not doing that anymore. And I guess that brings me back to uni. So I really had planned on doing the quiz last night because, as I've said, it's 9 questions. I've got 70 minutes and it's only worth 5%. And I am just so looking forward to the end of this degree. It's unbelievable. Like, I look back at the energy and the time and the mental fucking bullshit I've lived with inside my head, telling me that I need to get all the degrees in the world for anybody to take me seriously. And it's like, I had a good conversation with my untily boss yesterday, because we were meant to have a group meeting and only he and I could actually get there, so we just had a chat together and we were discussing degrees. And like, we were talking about the fact that, having the degree is good, but you don't have to have 101 of them. You don't need to have your honours and your postgrad and this and that, unless you're going into something specific that you literally have to, which is why I've taken myself completely out of the rat race for this whole competitions for honours, because in all honesty, I am so looking forward to getting my degree in my hand, because once that's done, I might actually start tagging people or tagging shit in these things. I haven't tagged a single thing in these videos because A, I have no idea how at the moment, and B, not trying to really get my name out there. This is more just I've been thinking about it lately, because every time I'd gone to make a website in the past, And I've spoken to like professional website developers and whatnot over the years since quitting ice, because as I've said, I've known for a long time I would start making videos the way that I do. I started in September, did it for a year because I wasn't uploading them and I was not anywhere near where I'm at now. I never published them, but I knew it was coming. I've known it was coming since I was smoking last. Anyway, so it turns out I have fully fucking misread the actual assignment, the 50% one. So basically we've got 15% worth of quizzes. So 3 quizzes, an exam worth 35%, and then a full-on like Jamovi software assignment that's worth 50%. And I was so confused because I've printed out the first part and I'm looking at it and I'm reading it, and it does turn out that Graham is absolutely positive I have dyslexia. I don't even know if I'm saying the right word. Though I think he might be right, because I've been saying for as long as I can possibly remember that I fuck words up. The amount of, like, that's probably why I am a better writer than I am a speaker at the moment, because obviously no thought goes into these videos. I pick up my camera and I just start talking. With my blogs, I read them and I fix them and I make them sound better, I guess. Or as Victor says, elegant, which I quite like. But I have been putting them off and putting them off and putting them off, these assignments here. So this assignment is worth 50%. That's due on the 21st of December, part 1, right? I've got it printed out and I'm like, I don't understand how this makes any sense. And it was only yesterday or the day before, so I think it was Monday, that I finally read it. Well, actually, that's not true. I opened my University Cloud page up and the main page was like, task 2 for part 1 has dropped. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so I better go back and read shit. So I did that. And I did not read it right the first time at all. So there are 6 tasks in general. Task 1, 2, and 3 of the first part, and task 4, 5, and 6 of the second part. And I didn't realize that, in the sense of the first part that I've got that needs to be done is, how does it work? Is part 1 of task 1. I think that makes sense. So there's 3 tasks for the part. So I've got the first part, which according to everyone in the group chat, at least from what I have seen, most people have done it. Monday was when I realized I'd miscalculated and misread everything, because the second part is now available. So I now have to do my first quiz and my first assignment, which is 2 case studies, to get me at least up to date, because I still have week 4 and we're at week 5 now, before I can do any of the other stuff. Thankfully, my amazing note taker has emailed through the class notes last night. I think I saw them for week 5. So once the assignments are done, which fingers crossed I could smack out, like just get done today, because like I said, I've been fucking with my head, going over and over and over and over it again, because I want 100%, 100%. And I know when it's stuff like this that I can do, then I just fucking confuse myself with. It pisses me off. And that makes me avoid and procrastinate and end up running fucking late behind everything. So That's why I wrote the note. So the note is eat fried eggs on toast for breakfast and then quit fucking around and do your assignments. There is nothing else I can learn, nothing else I can read, nothing else I can understand or study that's going to help me, prepare me for what needs to be done. I just need to turn it on and do it. And that's the goal for today. I'm almost tempted to do it backwards in the way one of my friends did. The 19-year-old woman that I mentioned in my therapy session, which I told her about and sent it to her. I was like, you are changing my life to the point where I mentioned you in therapy. And she just thought it was hilarious. But I remember saying at some point she did the assignments in the wrong order, not realizing. And her attitude just, I don't know, I fucking love her attitude. And like, Graham's finished his degree after however many years. He's got a transcript that looks completely different to mine. Like, I've never dropped a unit after census. I've never had late withdrawals or fails or anything like that. And I've never been worried, nor am I, about failing a unit, as in actually failing the unit and then having to do it again. It's never been a worry of mine. It's what grade I pass at. That's what fucks with me. But thankfully this video is working in the sense that I'm waking up. But I just want to get through this degree. I want it to be done. I want it to be over. Like, I guess when I started, I never would have believed it would take this long. I remember back in the beginning, like the end of 2016, the beginning of 2017, you know, like I'd only been off ice less than 6 months. Fucking fuck all. And I had all these hopes and dreams and aspirations, and I'm not saying any of them have changed. I'm just saying I'm now fully ready to accept within myself. You would not have think it would take this long, but that my disabilities do fucking affect me. I've been told by all the people I have as doctors, friends, people in my life. Every one of them are all like, these are affecting you. And I have been just at that point where I'm just like, no, I can do the same as everyone else. And it turns out I can't. And it's not because I'm not clever enough or smart enough or all of these things. It's just because I'm dealing with things that people just can't possibly fathom if they haven't dealt with them themselves. But I want balance in my life. I want to get fit, you know. I want to be able to do things without being like, oh my god, I have to do everything at once with uni because uni's fucking with me. Like, as soon as I graduate, and I will be absolutely getting my gown and my cap and the ceremony and all that stuff, I'm done for a while. You know, I have done so many trainings since deciding helping other people was my purpose in life. But as I said to my boss yesterday, pretty sure my purpose in life didn't involve quitting ice simply to make my life worse. And I'm not saying uni is worse than smoking ice, so please don't take what I'm saying incorrectly. I'm just saying I want to better my life, and to do so, I need to stop being hung up on the grades for a degree that there's a highly good chance I may not even use, at least the psychology one. If I ever get to the point where I want to go study, say, a master's of counselling, for example, I can do that. Mostly I would like to keep studying philosophy. But above and beyond all of it, I want to public speak. So I want to go to my local meetings for the Toastmasters. And even though I've decided not to officially join until uni's over, because it's just the most sensible thing for me to do given my lack of time management, that'll be taken off my fucking CV. One of the top things on my resume is fantastic time management. It wasn't a lie. I just didn't know it wasn't the case when I'm by myself. Anyway, the woman I've been dealing with, who I want to be my mentor, actually messaged me last night on WhatsApp, and I was like, to begin with, because I didn't have her number, I was like, I don't think this message is for me. But then I realized once I got to the end of it, it obviously was. And she's such a sweetheart. Turns out we're the same age. Anyway, she was like, absolutely no pressure whatsoever. So please don't feel like that's what I'm doing. She's like, I fully appreciate why you need to take the step back because of uni. But she goes, there's one meeting left for the year and the social event gathering, and she was like, we would absolutely love you to be there, which is just so kind. So I literally have a very jam-packed rest of the week, hence today I need to get my shit done. So I'm making this now for a bit of a recap, and as I said, to get through that part where I was like reading no sleep going, I want to go and nap next to boss who's lying on the other couch, and I can't do that because I need to wake the hell up and get on my computer. Because if I don't get 100% on everything, who the fuck cares, right? I will pass the unit. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, and like I keep thinking, Graham just landed to himself this unbelievably fantastic job as a behavioral therapist, and not once has he had to prove what grades he got or his overall WAM or any of this stuff. He finished his degree, he has a degree, now he has a really fucking cool job, which is also helping. But I'm making friends as I go, and as we know, like, I'm talking online uni friends, though one of the women I have started speaking to lives like maybe 45 minutes or so away from me. I'm not totally sure, but she's awesome. We've already spoken on video chat too, and she has horses, so I really, really want to go out there one day and meet them, which she's cool with. So let's think. Today's Wednesday. Have to smash out some uni. So Thursday, tomorrow, I've got Faith coming and we're going out for lunch. She's my storytelling friend. That's Thursday. Yep. Friday, I've got to drive to the wildlife park, or more correctly, Victor is driving me and Sebastian to the wildlife park, which is really fucking handy and grateful and helpful for me in the sense that I love my car and my mechanic, but I don't want to drive my car far distances unless absolutely possible, like unless I absolutely have to, so to speak. Because I gotta admit, there are times where I'm like at an intersection and I'm just like, please keep going, please keep going, please don't stop. So I'm at that point with my vehicle. But as much as I would fucking love to get a new car, preferably one of those smaller SUVs, you know, where the back seats go down and I can still camp with boss. I would love, love, love that. I am not willing to give finance for it though, so keep driving my car. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I have to transport I have to transport Sebastian in like a duffel bag sort of thing, like a sports bag, and it's super like weird. Like he's not going to be in there for long. He'll have enough air. I've double checked all of this stuff, but I'm used to just putting him in a box. Yeah, I can't do that anymore because I have this very distinct memory. For example, when I lived in the northern suburbs, and I think it was when I was moving out of living with my sister, so I lived with my sister a number of years back, like maybe 26, 27, and her now like father to her kids, her partner, basically moved in and took over with her, and I was like, this is bullshit. So I finally got my own place. That was January 2014 that I finally got my own place. It was a little bungalow out the back of a farm in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. And it was nice. And I remember the drive from the house I was in to there with Sebastian in a box in the front seat, but obviously I hadn't taped it up. I just sort of folded it. And I'm driving, and the next thing I see at the corner of my eye is Sebastian has come out of the box, and he's sort of looking all around, and there's this car next to me looking at me, and I'm just like, yeah, no, so obviously he's not meant to be doing that, but he's way too big for that to even possibly happen, so he'll be fine. Gotta get stat decks and all sorts of stuff done, but I might see if I can do that tomorrow at some point. But yeah, so I've got Faith on Thursday, Victor on Friday, Graham on Saturday, and then the social event on Sunday. And then classes again on Monday, I think. I think someone said the break starts around the 22nd. I'm not totally sure. But the break is basically just under 3 weeks, I think they've said. And again, I need to check. I'm going based on what students have told me. Don't actually, I think I lied before because my son is right here. So it says part 1, which is 3 different tasks. Again, that's the part I got confused with, is due in week 7, which is the 21st of December. I'll see it's here. And then part 2, which is task 3, 4, 5, and 6, is due in week 10, which is the 25th of January. However, because it's the same as last trimester, and people with disability plans in place, like myself, for example, who usually have to request the 2-week extension, have automatically been granted it. So off the top of my head, part 1 for myself is due around the 4th of January. But considering my birthday is the 30th, and I actually do want to do something for my birthday, regardless of what it is, I know Graham and Victor are definitely interested in doing something, so I don't know, we might go to the pub or whatever we do, I don't know. Anyway, my point being, I don't want to be doing fucking homework during that period, which is why I need to get the fuck on with it. And yeah, like I said, just read it. It was like task 1 to 3, and then I'm looking at it and I'm like, how is this 50%? It's not. It's one of the damn tasks out of 6. Anyway, thankfully I've woken up, which is great because I'm at fucking 34 minutes and 31 seconds. I need to go and make my bed and get dressed. I might jump in the shower. Can I be fuck washing my hair? No, I cannot. I'm just going to study today. Not study, I'm going to do what needs to be done because, and I'm going to say this to me and to you and to just everyone, because even though I'm 100% fine with whatever the fucking grade I get, is as long as it's a pass, there is a part in my mind that's not. So very conflicting, which is why I always need people to be like self-validate, like as anyone who's ever watched one of my therapy sessions, self-validating is one of the things I find the absolutely most difficult things to do. And after crying over a 71 grade, I've definitely understanding that I have been breaking myself at uni for so many years for like no reason. But you know, it's all good. Everything's good. It's 35 minutes, 36 minutes basically. I need to stop talking, upload this, and get on with my day. Talk to you later. Bye.